But going back also to what you were saying about, forgiveness and talking about how it's not our parents' fault because they are only doing what they know best in the conditions that they were given. And so that same thing with me. Like,
Yeah.
I don't blame my mom. I'm like, Mom, I love you. Like, I love you more actually. As I'm getting older, I love her more and more. And I just appreciate everything she's done for children. 'Cause I look back, I'm like, wow, she raised four
Yeah.
children. I'm the youngest as well. And she just did the best that she could. And so the
Yeah.
forgiveness is big. And actually, in your upcoming book, Naked, you explore the themes of long life forgiveness, particularly in the wake of your mother's passing. Can you actually
Yeah.
discuss the journey of forgiveness and its role in healing and transformation?
Yes. So as I go back to when I was 16 years old, and when I left Richmond at 18, my father had died. And I'm like, and then the SoCal guy that I was dating, you know, he left and went to somebody. So it was like, okay, I'm leaving, and went to Richmond, Virginia. I have sisters there. And I was just so angry with my mom. And in 2010, I ended up getting into a really bad car accident. And I couldn't really work at the moment. And I had to go back home to my mom. I called her and I was like, I can't pay the rent. I can't do it. And, she had a card game going. My mama loved to play cards, and she loved music and the food. And she was like, okay, babe, come on home. Do you need the money? And she sent the money for me to come home. And I was 24, and I went home to my mom. I was like, I don't want to be here. I ain't been here in years and blah, blah, blah. And so I was there and living with her. We really didn't know what to say. I mean, it had been so long. And even when I was a teenager, it was kind of like we we still just had like our own relationship. But anyway, we ended up actually just becoming closer, even though we had our arguments here and there. But that was our relationship. And my mom passed last October unexpectedly for me. She had cancer, and as I look back over the years with my mom, I'm like, there's not one day that when I was with my mom from when I was younger, anything, a day that I starved. There wasn't a day that I couldn't call my mom and tell her about what I was going through. When I got married, and me and my husband, we had arguments, fights, it'd be 1 a.m. And guess what? My mom coming out the house naked, whatever, to see what's going on with her daughter. She's calling, like, you gotta go. Like, she's there, you know, and she started that protecting mode. And she always had my son. She kept him, fed him every single day. And as I look back over the life, I'm like, my mom did an amazing job. And I was just happy that I was able to come back and spend the time with my mom that I could. She died 13 years later. So I came back, I was 25. And so she died last October. And I just felt like the universe, like it was meant for me to go back home, because I had in my mind, like, okay, I'm going to Harvard. I'm talking to a rich man. I don't need, I was like, I'm just going to be good. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And then, like, 2 days later, I had the car accident. And so I just believe that it was for me to go back home and spend time with my mom, for us to rekindle, for us to forgive. And when my mom passed, I can actually just say that we both forgave each other. We had an amazing relationship. We went to the store together. I live right across the street from her. I walked over there every day. We would call the taxi, when I didn't have a car, we would ride together to the store to get stretch off tickets, whatever, candy. Like I spent every day with my mom. And I called her and was like, "Oh, mom, he's acting a fool." Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, you need to, and she was just there. And I could talk to my mom about anything, sex, this, and people was like, "Oh my God, you can talk to your mom about." I'm like, "Yeah, I can talk to my mom about anything." And that was the beauty of that relationship. And she passed away. And I'm just so thankful. I really am. I was hurt. It was crazy. It was a lot and still is, and yeah,
Yeah. So again, my condolences. My condolences. I can't imagine losing my mom. Like I said, I lost my father when I was a baby, and so
I don't know
I
what
don't. Oh, that's okay. Hi, we're back. That's okay.
happened.
Yeah, I was just sharing that uh, my condolences because I couldn't imagine, you know, losing my mom because she's all I have because my father passed away when I was like 7 months old with murder. And
Mhm.
then my mom was the only one I had. She was mother and father to me. And
Yes.
she was like what do you call it? Riot and die. What is it called?
Yeah, you're
Right.
right. Not your
Yes,
best
yes,
friend.
exactly. She's
Yes.
like that. Like I would call her like when I would have like was in a relationship and something
Hmm.
bad happened, I would call her, be like in the middle of the night, and she'd be there
Yes.
picking up the phone, helping me while I'm
Yes.
sobbing and crying.